Good day, senior high school students, and welcome back. I am your online math tutor, Ma'am Karim. I am so glad that you are here to join us in the next lesson for general mathematics. In this video, we will be talking about on how to determine the domain and range of rational functions. What is the domain and range of a rational function? The domain of a rational function f of x is the set of all real numbers except those for which the denominator is 0. Ang domain ng rational function ay ang mga values na pwedeng i-take ng variable x, which are the set of all real numbers except dun sa mga numbers na makakapagpa-0 sa denominator ng rational function. The range is the set of all values that variable f of x will take. Ang range naman ay ang mga values na pwedeng i-take ng variable f of x. Let's have example number 1. What is the domain of f of x equals 3 over x minus 2? To get the domain of this rational function, let us first find the value of x that makes the denominator not equal to 0. To do that, let's take note the denominator of the given rational function, that is x minus 2. After getting the denominator, you have to equate that to 0. That is x minus 2 equals 0. In here, we have to get the value of x, that is 2. In step number 1, we can now conclude that the domain of the given function are the set of all real numbers except positive 2. If you're going to substitute the value of x, which is 2, to the given rational function in the denominator, that will be 0. And that makes the function undefined. So, yung magiging restriction natin sa domain is positive 2. In step number 2, we have to write the domain in rule form or interval notation. In rule form, we have the format braces and then x such that x, we have here the element symbol or the symbol for element. R, that is the symbol for real number. And then comma, we have here the variable x. We have 3 x's here that stands for domain. And then the not equal sign. The not equal sign then followed by the number 2 na nakuha natin sa step number 1. This can be read as the set of all x such that x is any real number except 2. That is the rule form. For the interval notation, you can have here open parenthesis from negative infinity from the left side of the number line. If you're going to draw a number line, open parenthesis, negative infinity, comma, then yung restriction sa domain, which is 2, closed parenthesis, then the symbol for the union of the two sets, and then open parenthesis, then the restriction again, comma, then to positive infinity, closed parenthesis. So that is the interval notation. Example number 2. What is the range of f of x equals 3 over x minus 2? To get the range, step 1, let y equals f of x. In the given function, we have f of x equals 3 over x minus 2. Replace the function notation f of x by y. That is y equals 3 over x minus 2. Step 2, solve x in terms of y. This one, or y, can be in the form y equals 1 equals 3 over x minus 2. As you have observed in the left side of the equation, we have a single term, And on the right side of the equation, we have also a single term. In here, we can use cross multiplication. That is, y will be multiplied to the quantity x minus 2 and 1 times 3. Next is to simplify. Y times x is xy. Y times negative 2 is negative 2y equals 1 times 3 is 3. Using the addition property of equality, negative 2y will be placed to the right side of the equation. That is xy equals 3 plus 2y. Now, on the left side of the equation, we have only a single term, which is xy. We can now divide both sides by y to get the value of x. You may cancel y on the left side since you have y on the numerator and y in the denominator. So, ang natira na lang, we have x. That is equal to 3 plus 2y all over y. To determine the range of the given rational function, you have to observe the denominator. We have there y. Find the value of y that makes the denominator not equal to 0. Given this new equation, we cannot have a value of y that is 0. So, yan yung restriction ng range. In step number 4, write the range in rule form or interval notation. In rule form, that is y such that y, or the set of all y such that y is any real number except 0. Bawal maging value ng y sa denominator ang 0. In interval notation, we have open parenthesis, negative infinity, 0, close parenthesis, then we have a symbol for union, open parenthesis, 0, comma, then positive infinity, closed parenthesis. The union of these two sets can be the value of the range in the given rational function. Example number 3. What is the domain of f of x equals x plus 2 all over x plus 1? In the given function, we have to find the value of x that makes the denominator not equal to 0. That is by getting the denominator of the given rational function, which is x plus 1. Next is to equate x plus 1 equals 0, or equate x plus 1 to 0. Next is to determine the value of x using x plus 1 equals 0. So here we have x equals negative 1. So ibig sabihin, lahat pwedeng maging domain ng given na function except negative 1. Ito yung magiging restriction sa domain. For step number 2, we have to write the domain in rule form or interval notation. We have to take note the restriction negative 1 in the domain. In rule form, we have the set of all x such that x is any real number except negative 1. In interval notation, we have open parenthesis from negative infinity, comma, negative 1, close parenthesis. Then we have the symbol for the union, open parenthesis, negative 1, comma, then positive infinity, close parenthesis. That is the union of these two sets. Again, negative 1 is not included in the set. That is the restriction of the domain in the given rational function. Example number 4. What is the range of f of x equals x plus 2 all over x plus 1? So here you have to equate the right side of the equation by y, or replace f of x or the function notation by y. That is y equals x plus 2 all over x plus 1. Next step is to solve x in terms of y. Y can be in the form of y over 1, that is equal to x plus 2 all over x plus 1. Since there is a single term on the left side and on the right side of the equation, we can use cross multiplication. Y will be multiplied to the quantity x plus 1 and 1 multiplied to the quantity x plus 2. Using the distributive property, You can now multiply y times x is xy, y times 1 is y equals 1 times x is x, 1 times 2 is 2. Next, by applying the addition property of equality, yung x, yung mga variable x, may variable x na terms, ililipat mo sa left side ng equation, at yung constant at mga variable yung may single na y, variable y, ililipat mo naman sa right side. So that is xy minus x, yung x nilipat mo sa left side, at yung y naman na single y, walang x na katabi, lipat mo naman sa right side. That would become negative. Yung constant, stay lang siya sa right side. The next is to factor out x. Alisin mo yung x dun sa tabi ng y and then negative 1. So that is x multiplied to the quantity y minus 1 equals 2 minus y. Then from here, you can now divide both sides by the quantity y minus 1 to get the value of x. Then cancel y minus 1 over y minus 1. That is equal to 1. Natira na lang is x. That is equal to 2 minus y all over y minus 1. So from here, we're going to get the denominator of the new equation, which is y minus 1, equate that to 0, then get the value of y. That is 1. Ibig sabihin, ito yung magiging restriction sa range ng given na function. Lahat ay pwedeng maging range ng given na function except positive 1. So for step 4, you have to write the range in rule form, that is the set of all y such that y is any real number except positive 1. Or in the interval notation, the union of these two sets. Take note, 1 is not included in the set. Example number 5. What is the domain of g of x equals x plus 2 all over x squared minus 4? To get the domain of the given function, we have to find the value of x that makes the denominator not equal to 0. That is by getting the denominator x squared minus 4, then equate that to 0. Since the equation is in quadratic form, we're going to get the factors of this. We have x minus 2 and x plus 2. We have two values of x here. The first one is positive 2, and then the second one is negative 2. Ito yung magiging restriction sa domain. Bawal maging value ng x ang positive 2 at negative 2. If we're going to substitute positive 2 to the given rational function, that will become undefined. And also, if we're going to substitute negative 2 to the denominator of the given rational function, that will become 0, and the function will become undefined. So those are the restrictions in the domain. We have positive 2 and negative 2. For step number 2, we're going to write the domain in rule form or interval notation. In the rule form, that is the set of all numbers such that x is any real number except negative 2 and positive 2. Or it can be in the interval notation. We're going to start from negative infinity, negative 2, and then the symbol for union, then negative 2 to positive 2, and then the symbol for union, and then 2 to positive infinity. In here, negative 2 and positive 2 are not included in the set, kaya ang katabi niya ay parenthesis. Let's have here 5 questions. Let's have the first one. What is the domain of f of x equals 5 over x plus 1? So first, we're going to get the denominator x plus 1 and equate that to 0 in the given function, and then get the value of x, that is negative 1. Negative 1 is the restriction in the domain of the given function. Para mas madali, since ang nasa options ay interval notation lang naman, we're going to just write the domain using interval notation. That is always that will always start from negative infinity, negative 1, and then the union symbol, the negative 1 to positive infinity. The correct answer is letter B. Number 2. What is the range of f of x equals 5 over x plus 1? So first, we have to solve or write the function to y. That is y equals 5 over x plus 1. Then cross multiplication, we have xy plus y equals 5. Solve for y or solve for x in terms of y. So cancel, x is equal to 5 minus y all over y. Yung bawal na maging value ng y ay 0. Kasi kung mapapansin ninyo sa denominator, kapag naging 0 ang y, that will become undefined. So y is not equal to 0. That is the interval notation. That is on letter C. Number 3. What is the domain of g of x equals x plus 2 all over x plus 3? So for the solution, we're going to get the denominator x plus 3 and equate that to 0. Get the value of x, that is negative 3. So the interval notation, that is negative infinity, or the union of these two sets. That is in the rule form in letter C. And number 4, what is the range of g of x equals x plus 2 all over x plus 3? All the options are in rule form. So for the solution, we're going to solve for x in terms of y. Using cross multiplication, x equals 2 minus 3y all over y minus 1. We're going to get the denominator, get the value of y, that is 1. This is the restriction for the range. So in the interval notation, that is the union of these two sets. In the rule form, ang exemption ay positive 1. That is on letter B. And number 5, we have the domain and range of the given functions. You have to get first the domain by getting the denominator of the function, that is 2x plus 3, equate that to 0. X is equal to negative 3 halves. This is the restriction in the domain. So this is the interval notation, the union of these two sets. Next is to get the range. Solve for x in terms of y. The denominator here, 2y minus 3. Equate that to 0. Get the value of y. This is the restriction in the range of the given rational function. Therefore, this is the range, the union of these two sets. Ang domain is negative infinity, negative 3 halves, then negative 3 halves to positive infinity. Ang range naman ay ito, the union of these two sets. The answer is letter A.